Welcome to Full Circle Superior. We're 125 plus miles into our trek. Behind us you can perhaps see the old iron ore dock. This is Ashland, Wisconsin, and we're looking out into Chequamegon Bay. From here on we will next move into the Bad River Reservation and then cross over into Michigan and have wrapped up our Wisconsin trek. But our Wisconsin trek has been really outstanding and lots of memories.
Yep. Well, today is Friday, May 7th, for one thing. 9 days on the trail. So many memories. The first day, of course, started off somewhat similar to this in terms of weather, temperature, wind. And today will be our last day walking before a weekend break. But really, the Wisconsin shore was just gorgeous. We had beautiful beaches, very pristine-looking beaches. We had some horrible red clay cliffs that we had to climb over and that I managed to fall down in. Wildlife was outstanding. We had eagles every day and wolf tracks on every beach that we walked on. We had an otter swimming past us, which was extremely special for both of us, and a little porcupine sitting in a tree right next to the beach in a stream. Countless vultures and sharp-shinned hawks that were migrating west towards the Minnesota Point. 5 fox, a black bear, track and a black bear that we saw. So we've had extraordinary wildlife. It's been just wonderful, but some of the quiet bays that we've been in, as well as standing by the sea caves, the big cliffs, and watching the waves wash in and boom out, those were amazing experiences and really meaningful. And as Kate said, the otter was very special. The otter has been the totem for our son Matthew, and at the beginning of the trek we told people that Matthew was one of the 3 people that we're remembering in this trip. He died 21 years ago, and the otter became his totem, or the otter actually insisted on becoming his totem. And so seeing that otter and having that otter come swimming right along us and spend a long time with us, that was very special. And we did offer a tobacco prayer to the lake and to the spirits at that point. But in addition, we've had some amazing experiences with people, and tell them about some of the highlights of the people we've met. It's hard to keep everybody straight. That's why we have to write notes at the end of every day. But starting on the very first day when we were on the second day when we were on the road, we had a number of cars stop and people get out and ask us, "Are you the walkers, or are you those people walking around the lake, or I saw you on TV?" And they were all very friendly. We met one young woman, Jessie Lemler, who lives near Cornucopia. She first saw us on the road in her car, and then on our 4th day, I think, when we were walking past Cornucopia, she came jogging by with her dog and invited us into her house for tea. And we spent some time with her and her dog Finnegan, great dog, and moved on. We've also met people on the reservation. Marvin Defoe, who's vice chairman of the Red Cliff tribe, had a great meeting and discussion with him about the Red Cliffs and the Chippewa people, their relationship to the lake.
And the lesson that he had just taught to his son about the future and survival and the need to take care of nature and the lake for the future of all people. And that's something that we think is just right with our message. This lake depends upon us. We can make a lot of bad decisions despite how big this lake is. It's still fragile. And we were disappointed in one place because of what we were seeing on the shoreline. You want to tell them what our prominent...
Oh, in terms of garbage, the worst that we saw was right on Wisconsin Point, close to the canal, which makes sense, I guess, because it's so close to Duluth and large human population. But overall, there was very little garbage, and what we saw most often, I'm figuring most people would guess, would be plastic bottles. But really, there were very little of those things. Instead, what we're finding are balloons of every color and type, stuck in branches, under driftwood, in the sand, was really pretty surprising, some of the places that we found balloons.
We'd like to really send a message to people to please. The celebration of that balloon may be fun for a few moments, but it puts a permanent scar on nature, and it really stresses the animal life out there.
Well, I don't think people are going to give up having balloons at parties, but maybe if they're just in the house rather than outside, there'd be less chance of them floating off and crossing the lake.
Well, I know that some people, sometimes they release balloons, and that's really the problem, releasing the balloons out. And we understand there'll be some, but it really, we were amazed at how much. We also want to caution the fishermen to be careful about their lures. We found one gull that we were able to catch in the surf. It was being washed in the surf, and we got it out, and it had a treble hook through its bill and through its foot. And thanks to Dan Mentner and his assistants, Kate and I and Dan, were able to catch it and remove this and release the bird. But once again, those are dangerous things out there, whether we step on it or whether wildlife gets caught in it. And I think, we want to also recognize that we've had great help from the Rittenhouse, and Jerry and Mary Phillips not only gave us a bed, but they gave us hospitality and dinner and great social time. We also want to recognize Camp Amnekin for what a wonderful place they let us stay.
First night, and then Dennis and Barb at the Siskowit Coffee and in Cornucopia were really generous and helpful. Our support person Amanda spent a couple or 3 days there working on the internet while we were walking.
Yeah, and then we also have had great support through Wilderness Inquiry in the use of their cabin up by Little Sand Bay. Mm-hmm. So this has been a trip that's really brought a lot of people and a lot of things together for us, and consequently it's had even more meaning, and it's been wonderful. We had a young woman by the name of Bridget Weber who walked with us all yesterday. She walked 10 of our 15 miles yesterday down to Washburn. We were having a wonderful trek as we followed as close to the shoreline again as we could, and have explored places that have really continued to inspire us with this lake and the options and variety that's out here.